We're going to kick it off from the future. It's 2035. What have we learned?
I think we've learned that our rights can be rolled back with this current administration. So I think if you fast forward 10 years, hopefully there's a younger generation that's going to put an end to this fascist regime and stand up. But I think we're going to learn that rights can be rolled back and we can't keep our foot off the gas. We got to keep fighting. What's happened, there was a little bit of complacency, over the last 4 years or so, and we've got to come out swinging.
Yeah.
And now we see if you get the wrong person in office, everything can be taken away.
We're going to go back to the beginning. So here we are at Stonewall. Can you walk us through what happened here?
In 1969, June 28th, this was a safe space for the LGBTQ plus community, although it was mafia owned. And a little bit of a hole in the wall. It was still one of our community's original safe spaces where people could come in and they could actually dance with somebody they love, hold hands with their partner, and that really wasn't happening in a lot of different places. So the mob found money in that, so they kind of decided to buy up a lot of queer bars, this space being one of them, and what they would do is they would pay off the police because it was illegal to serve an LGBTQ person a drink. It was also illegal for you to wear 3 articles of clothing if it didn't match your gender. So how both of us are dressed, we would be thrown in jail.
The blasphemy.
That's why they often had to pay off police. So on a hot summer night, for various reasons, I like to say probably Vietnam War, Woodstock was coming up. All these changes were kind of happening in America. The civil rights movement probably played into it, but it was finally time for our community to say, we're here, we're queer, we'll get used to it. And after all these bars have kind of been raided, when the mob forgot to pay off the police, they would come in, raid the bars, put folks up against the wall, and they would actually check their gender to see if it matched the articles of their clothing.
Stop.
Yeah, and that's how they would actually arrest them. Right? They would say, oh, you're wearing this, doesn't match your gender. And that was just one of the ways that the police did that, the NYPD back in the day. Yeah, crazy. So, but at that particular hot, steamy night when our community was fed up, the mob did not play off the police. They came in, they raided the place. And as they were doing this and raiding it and putting people up against the wall, a lot of people say it was a lesbian. We don't know that. A lot of people say it was a trans woman of color. We don't know that. So I don't think we'll ever know who actually started the riots. Somebody screamed out, aren't you going to do something? And everyone started to fight back. Everyone was tired of it. So everyone started to finally fight back. And they actually barricaded the police in the bar. And then all the people in the village were like, what's going on at Stonewall? What's going on at Stonewall? So everyone just came out into the street and started throwing things at the police that were barricaded inside. And it turned into a massive riot. But the whole community gathering out in front of this whole entire area was filled with people chanting and yelling and fighting back. No one was killed, myth. No one died. No one died. No one was really even injured that badly. Maybe a few broken bones and that kind of stuff, but nothing crazy. There was allegedly a kick line, because that's what we do as gay people, right? When we're protesting, we do a kick line. This is our turn to have our movement start. So after that, the police then came out after they kind of chased around the crowd. This lasted all the way into the night. And then for the next 3 days, people came to Stonewall and protested. And that was the first time that really kind of the LGBTQ community in terms of underground newspapers picked up on it. Because there was other protests, there's other riots in San Francisco, right? The Compton riots in LA. So other riots had happened before Stonewall, but Stonewall was really the spark, the tipping point, because underground newspapers picked up on the story and that made it into the press.
Yeah.
So that's how somebody like me, I wasn't alive yet, almost, in Kansas would have found out, oh my God, this, I'm not the only LGBTQ person out there.
Yeah.
The most important thing about this really is before the riots, there was probably 2 to 3 LGBTQ organizations. 1 year later, after the riots, in the United States, there's over 200. So that's why we say it sparked a revolution, because people really said, we're going to start fighting. Here we go. I'm not alone. We're going to do this. So that's kind of why we're sitting here in history. And it's incredible to be here, especially on this day when we had a protest out front. It's been an incredible thing for our community. And it's the global symbol for the LGBTQ rights, symbol of hope to people from all over the globe.
There's been many LGBTQ bars that have struggled.
Sure.
Y'all have stayed open. You've remained open throughout all of these years. So, what has allowed Stonewall to thrive while other bars have unfortunately shuttered their windows?
Well, it's a history, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such an iconic part of history. But we bought it in 2006, so we're going almost on 20 years as owners. It's myself,
Yeah.
Kurt Kelly, who's the operating owner and runs the bar day to day, and our other two partners, Bill Morgan and Tony DeChico. But I think it's because we give back to the community.
Yeah.
We are consistently trying to find out different ways to help everyone in our community. I think that Stonewall feels like the place you come to mourn, like after
Yeah.
Pulse, the place you come to celebrate after LGBTQ marriage. And we really work tirelessly to put it back at the forefront of the LGBTQ rights movement. It's not just a bar, it's a community center, and we've always made it that way. There's all kinds of different drag shows and performers. But also, more importantly, there's consistently fundraisers for all kinds of organizations, all kinds of mutual aid, even kind of things going on here. And so it's the heartbeat and the hub of the LGBTQ community, not just in New York, but globally.